A subreddit predicted 2025? And it's a meme subreddit. That's right, it's r/map. I don't think I can say the rest of this name. Because 10 months ago, all the way back in April 2024, this post just leaked the future. How did the US let the Gulf be named after Mexico? Is Mexico more powerful than the US? It even measures the coastlines of the Gulf of America too? This guy is definitely a time traveler from the future. I've got no doubt about it now. Or maybe Donald Trump just saw this post and said, you know, that's a good idea. It's so funny to see the random meaningless topics that become hyper politicized just a couple months later. Like 10 months ago, if you said Canada should be the 51st state, the Canadians would just laugh. Now, if you mention it, they literally start crashing out. I'm starting to believe that there's Donald Trump somewhere among us picking up genius ideas. Inside of you are two wolves. Trump saw this post and said, damn, I never thought of that. Let's make it real. Oh, apparently Stephen Colbert mentioned the Gulf of America on a satire show. Dang, and that was from 15 years ago. Subtle foreshadowing alert. But what if I told you there's still way more that this subreddit predicted about 2025? Trump's solution to the war in Gaza, basically predicting just calling it the American Strip. And 2 weeks later, this news hit. Trump says US will take over Gaza, creating the Riviera of Middle East. Oh, wow. Okay, I do think he might seriously be reviewing this subreddit. That's the only explanation, right? I can't see why else there'd be this many coincidences. Heard free Palestine and thought he was talking about free real estate. Costa del Gaza. That's the problem the Middle East is missing. More Spanish names. I feel like at the end of Trump's presidency, there's either going to be 58 states or a civil war. Why not both? The moment Trump was elected, I knew we'd end up in a schizoid 4 mod. I mean, can you really be surprised? Come on. I should start throwing out predictions right now. I could probably make like a correct guess in the next 6 months. I'm going to say there's going to be a big push for an independent Puerto Rico. It won't actually happen though. And then, I don't know. I feel like just the Australians are going to get mad at us. They've been pretty quiet over there recently with the land down under. Ah yes, just another normal map of Denmark. There's Denmark connected to continental Europe. There's the Faroe Islands. There's Greenland. There's also the Snoo territory. They're like these Viking Lego surfers or something. Technically, the Danish started colonizing us like a long time ago. They popped up their first port colony like 20 years ago in my state. Denmark becomes an imperial power again for the first time in 500 years, the Kalmarfornia Union. The sun only sets for an hour on the Danish Empire. I thought I was the only one that noticed this map didn't include the Faroe Islands. When you realize they've actually started to out-jerk us. Reality is funnier than fiction. The Gulf of America is something you could have only really seen on this subreddit, like we saw a couple months ago. And yet here we are now. Literally officially on Google Maps and everything right here. I'm new to American elections. Is this how they work? Not yet, but I feel like I can almost guarantee this map is also going to predict the future. I don't know how long it's going to take. It might be in the next 4 years or 100. But one thing's for sure, laugh at this map all you want. This is exactly how a certain other country votes. Almost a perfectly straight line straight down the middle. Also the right-wing party's on the right, the left-wing party on the left. America just wishes it could be this divided as Germany is. Maybe we can just one day, I guess. Yes, and the ones between are called the swing states. Oh, a future unified Korea election would definitely be divided up and down. That actually reminds me of a really funny tweet I saw. I am now convinced if the two Koreas ever reunited, the northern half would be the most right-wing place on earth. Yeah, that's pretty much how all former communist countries go. Elon Musk tweeting out the new name for the water that separates England and France, the George Washington Channel. Maybe if England becomes the 51st state before Canada. Actually, let's not give them any ideas. I don't even think anyone on this subreddit predicted this. This was just Elon Musk predicting what he's going to do next. Those are easy predictions to make. I predict I'm going to blow up my bathroom in like 2 seconds. I swear I saw this posted on Too American For You earlier. Elon is just stealing Reddit memes. Okay, how many subreddits are predicting the future at this point? I'm afraid the only people we allow to meme on us are the French and the Irish, Elon. Don't give the Brits any ideas. They might force Google to change the Gulf to this. Those bastards! They hit us in the night. No, the Mall of Mexico? A shopping mall in Bloomington, Minnesota. Wait, is this the thing that was formerly called the Mall of America? How dare they betray us like this while we were asleep? It'd be crazy if there was actually a place called Mall of Mexico in Minnesota. There better only be green, white, and red colors in this place. Also, hopefully the food court is no American food. This mall is absolutely insane. I had no idea this existed. Why doesn't the USA simply just build a canal right here? That way they no longer have to go all the way to the Panama Canal. Also, this helps with southern border security. This probably would only cost like $3 trillion too. I love how it needlessly goes all the way to Tijuana just for the border security part. It'd be a lot easier just to make it to the Gulf of California. Actually, this straight shot all the way across would be nice. Then you just annex the northern Mexican states. It will be a great canal. The best canal, I tell you. I've seen the plans. There will be no other canal like this one. I know all canals on the world. This will be the best of them. Real life in the USA is increasingly becoming similar to the posts on this subreddit. It feels almost like something he could actually say. It would make millions of homes. Everyone would want to live on the Great Canal. They would all leave their old homes behind. Finally, San Diego gets some waterfront properties. Here's a map that hasn't quite predicted the future just yet, but I can almost guarantee it probably will. I mean, if the US does actually annex Gaza. I don't know if the golf courses will be this big, but there will probably be at least one. Specifically here, right on the water. Where are they gonna put the parking lots, though? They call it the Holy Land because of all the golf holes. Ah, yes, the 2025 Treaty of Skibidi. A totally fair solution to the Russian-Ukraine war. Russia's gonna be allowed to take most of North and South America, while Ukraine gets Western Brazil. Meanwhile, Ukraine's going to get pretty much all of the Eastern Hemisphere, except for Spain. That's gotta go to Russia, because historically, Russia and Spain, I don't know. Russia also gets Eastern Australia and Papua New Guinea. Also, we're going to blow New Zealand off the map. They don't deserve to exist anymore. Isn't the Skibidi guy like close to this region? I think he might be from Poland, huh? Oh, no, he is Russian. That's crazy. Yeah, you have to name this treaty Skibidi now. What's cool is this treaty is a throwback to another old treaty from 500 years ago, and this totally didn't cause any problems at all. So Russia takes over Spain and then loses most of its original territory. Russians want Iberian heat and not Siberian cold. Draw the map of Poland. Here is a simple outline of the map of Poland. Wow, ChatGPT, that's great. Man, AI is getting so good. The fact that it knows shapes of countries, this is incredible. When are we gonna stop these things, actually? It's only a matter of time before they take over humans. Let's see what... Oh, you're actually drawing a real... Oh, dang! Okay, maybe that old screenshot was old. They've updated the image processing for maps, I guess. This is actually what ChatGPT draws for Poland. Why doesn't the world get together and just solve its two biggest problems? Step 1, build a dam around France. Step 2, pump excess water into France. That's the easy way to keep sea levels as they were back in 1950. And would this really be that hard? I mean, it would be, to be honest, but it'd be worth it. No France and no sea level rise? Count me in. You don't even need to build a dam. Just spread mimes all along the border and make them pretend there's a wall there. How have I been to France multiple times and I still have never seen a mime? Have these things been a lie the whole time? Another solution to the naming dispute. If we just take Japan and slap it on top of Cuba, then, well, yeah. See, Japan does have a nice ring to it. I'm sure Korea would love to get Japan as far away from them as possible, too. Two birds, one stone. The Hokkaido missile crisis could be a problem. Also, how often is Godzilla gonna attack us? They're not the only country volunteering to solve the naming crisis. Poland as well. You can also just rename everything to their Polish names. Man, look at that Polish name for the state of Louisiana. How did Arkansas dodge this bullet, but Louisiana still got butchered? New Mexico? What? That's it. Ungulfs your America. Oh, no. I guess we just don't get to have water here anymore. A basic summary of geopolitics. Here in 2025, the EU looking in horror, China looking in suspicion. Meanwhile, the US be like... What a weird time to be around. This has been crazy. China's like, I was gonna do that, but I guess I don't have to anymore. We can do this ourselves. For Europe, they're probably so confused. Like, what did that guy do? Just woke up, we were just stabbing ourselves. I'm actually kind of curious to see what the future holds for China, knowing China probably a civil war with 1 more billion dead. I mean, whatever. I'm sure they'll take the dub. I wouldn't mind taking the dub. When did geopolitics just become a Pokemon video game? Europe is so confused that they lost the UK. Well, maybe this is one possible solution to the conflict. After when it's all said and done, Mexico can get back lots of its lands. Not California, though. I don't think Canada deserves us. We need to go to Denmark, and the rest will just be EU property. I think I'm okay with this. Oh, Mexico gets Hawaii. There you go. So you get to trade. Why does Canada get Michigan, though? And all the Northeast? I don't know if the EU is going to want all this property. I'll tell you that. Nah, this would end in like a terrible, terrible fight, like a big old war. Everyone's going to just be trying to give away Florida. You just gave Canada 14 trillion more GDP. That's what I was saying. Give Florida to Japan, and South Korea can get Ohio. Fun fact, without touching a single piece of land, it's possible to sail from India to the USA in a completely straight line. Actually, that's not a straight line. Well, duh. Pfft, this idiot doesn't know about the curvature of the earth. Doesn't he realize we live on a globe, so a straight line is obviously going to be curvy on a flat map? Extremely curvy, in fact. Just look at all those curves. Everyone clowning on him doesn't know about Earth's curvature. It actually is possible, but this is what the actual curve would look like. Should you listen to the political analysis of taxi drivers from these countries? And I thought I was the only one experiencing this. I'm glad, though, I'm not the only one receiving this valuable information. If you're in the red places, do not listen to your taxi drivers. It will only give you unchecked nationalism, champagne activism, ego-driven analysis, or pure ignorance. What's funny is, like, I can't tell really much with the North American map, but with the Europe map, I'm like, okay, this is BS. I mean, obviously the map is BS, but I've received fantastic advice from taxi drivers in France and Germany, the UK. Not just advice, but political analysis. It's so good. Your local taxi driver can spit absolute bars on philosophical topics that will make all world leaders shake in their boots. Why isn't all world leaders just former taxi drivers? The world would be so much of a better place. In orange, we have maybe a mixed bag, can be revolutionary or devolutionary, just really trying to get that taxi bag for real. Meanwhile, there's all the green countries. These countries recognize the responsibility of the taxi rant. Heard of Socrates, Marx, Kant? I do think some of my favorite taxi drivers have come from Spain and then Ireland, funny enough. Italy as well. Why does it feel like this map was just randomly? I don't think these colors, I think they just kind of randomized the colors, to be honest. Whoever did this has no idea about Spain. The most progressive taxi driver thinks women shouldn't vote and foreigners should work for free. Man, I want to be a taxi driver. Petition to remove New from New Mexico's name. It's actually been there for quite a while. I never thought about that before. I mean, New Mexico has been a state for like 200 years now at least. Maybe not always under the US, but under the former Mexican Empire. Or are we just talking about the land in general? If the land in general, if it's just that, the land in general, well, yeah, it's been here for millions of years, so definitely not new. In fact, maybe we should call this Old Mexico. Same goes for New York though. I feel like they gotta stop trying to act young. You're not that young. Technically, guys, this is an island, and this is the biggest island the United States actually controls, because these are all navigatable rivers or fresh waterways. You can actually sail your way through this whole thing, and actually people do it. There is a big argument that because you can do this, it's an island. I don't believe in that argument, but still kind of a funny thought. Depends on the definition of island. A lot of definitions just say, oh, just anything surrounded by water on all sides. And then once you start breaking down that actually means the North American continent is just a bunch of islands put together. We all should have different continents here, like the entire Mississippi. That's just a tiny island, because you can sail up the Mississippi to the Missouri, get all the way out to the Pacific Ocean. Canada's just an island. Actually, this is great claims for why Canada should control like Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula. It's all a part of their little island over here. But that would mean they'd have to let these 12 people go independent. Again, another reason why America's geography is just so OP, because we were allowed to do this. And we hit this good stuff first. You know, there's not a whole lot going on over here, but you know, the settlers took a while to get over here. The United Islands of America. Mercator map projections be like, oh no, not another victim to this projection. We don't live on a flat map. Oh, what did you do to my boy? He looks horrific. It's disgusting. That right there is a Greenland terrier. The nation of Croatia is actually so small, you cannot fit another Croatia inside of it. That's how tiny this place is. I had no idea. This looked pretty big to me. I would assume that you would have been able to fit a smaller This is interesting actually, because it might actually be the only country with the only borders where you can't like shrink the country down and put it inside, like France, Germany, the US. You could do it with all those countries, but with the Croatia's weird shape, this is actually an interesting fact, even though it's a stupid post. Croatia is so small that you can't fit a smaller Croatia inside of it. Wow, that's insane. Well, I guess it depends on how small. You could fit you've really shrunk down the other Croatia. This is actually an interesting factoid. You can't fit a smaller version of Croatia inside of Croatia. I wonder if this is something common with other countries due to roughness of coast. Yeah, you can. Just make the second Croatia even smaller. The Civil War in Germany 2044 be like, I was there, dude, and it sucked. The Aldi versus Aldi revolution. I'm rooting for this side. We have this side near my house. I don't even know what this is. Actually, I've been there before, but they should have to fight. I think we should make Germany go into the Civil War just to see. We gotta see who the true Aldi is. It's been bothering me for so long. Can't imagine the casualty count. Very important to my American viewers, Aldi Nord owns Trader Joe's, and Aldi, I guess that's South, operates US, I don't know what that is, but yeah, anyways, big Civil War. A normal map of Europe, except it's all Portugal. It's all Portugal? Well, I don't know if it's all Portugal, but a lot of it. The fact that they snuck in a secret Switzerland, also a secret Brazil. Oh man, they're not happy. Brazil's used to being like 10 times bigger than Portugal. That's not the case anymore though, bucko. Like that they were even able to capture some of the islands of the Mediterranean with just a Portugal. Even Crimea. This is too many Portugals. They can finally be Balkan though. I really hope that this is not one of the posts that this subreddit is going to predict that the future is going to have for us. Or maybe it would be fun just to be all Portugal again. Remember, that was a thing of the past. Most of Europe used to be all Portugal, basically. So why not just go back to tradition? I mean, dang, I'll be Portugal too. It's cool. You mean it's Portugal? Maybe Trump or Elon Musk will see some of these posts and decide to make it a reality, probably in the very near future. As always, big ol' thanks to the patrons. Drew's Argentinian Trust Fund, RIP Grandpa. I will force Drew to eat Spanish food unless he remembers Imperial and modern Japan have the same flag. Alexander the Terrible. Connor Pavlik. DOOCHBAGGINS. Fredrik Tibblin. KingBearHaze. LuxembourgLover. NordTyrol. The Goat. Tambre. Check that link down below if you want your name here.